everyone. Zaganea, as I am trying a playthrough of Lemuria in a friendly multiplayer game with some friends, and figured I would record it this time. Uh, A, to practice recording, B, also be able to showcase and look back from our group to see what people think of the nation. So, Lemuria, as fluff, is where it happened, where Scaleria opened the soul gates and the dead emerge. So it seems it's very much like a hybrid that I've researched between Scaleria and Emor. The difference being though, instead of just your normal undead, is ghosts. That is the main bulk of your armies are ghosts, and there are some benefits of that. Outside the normal undead of not needing supplies can enter water, they are not poor amphibians, and they are not mindless. So you're going to be using ghosts a lot to stand up your own walls and to be able to be defensive because you don't have any other people. That your nation of free spawn of ghosts and that are ethereal, and that will be helping. So just to call it there, as you see, no units or commanders that you can recruit except for indies. Your main site is getting 9 death gems a turn, which is where all your mages and priests and commanders come from. But the benefit also on it, I don't think it's listed here, I don't see it, but for every temple you build as well, you get another death gem. So your main thing is going to be building up temples and getting your death gem to turn into your commanders. So to talk a little bit about the nation, we're going to get into commanders here shortly, but your ghosts have different types of ghosts that you will get from free spawn. Cover them very high level. I don't see all of them here, but they are your standard, if you will, specters. The big callouts here is 0 protection, but decent defense for like a human troop. This very much reminds me of humans. Around 10 hit points. This particular one has 8 attack, defense, and but the big key here is ethereal. So a lot of them come with magic weapons, or I think almost all of them do, and some of them even come with javelins. So as you see, they come in different varieties. Here is 10 hit points with a spectral shield. Here is more defense, but you see they're kind of just different copies of each one. There is a few notation ones. We'll get into them probably when we get into the game. But the standard bearers, they have a fear aura. So instead of bolstering your team, they're causing fear. So you want them more in the front lines with your leaders. But that's kind of the bulk of your armies. Free spawn ghost, but as mentioned earlier, they do have siege defense. So this is a big part of keeping up your own forts, being able to mass troops on protecting your forts, and because you don't need resources, because it's free spawn, building a lot of forts, because that is what happens. If you do not have a fort, your ghosts come in as these spirits, very weak, and as you see, just a paralyzing attack. So you'll use these, well, you'll get these without a fort, and you can also summon them for a priest, which we'll get to here shortly. But you want not this variety, but your actual Spectres Roman Legion variety. So getting into different commanders, they come in what I think of 3. You have your priest, you have your mages, and then you have your, what I'm going to think of, knights, but even though one is a priest, so we'll start there. So the centurions are your basic commander that you can start out. I think they are summoned for, I'm going to say 10 gems. Let's do a quick check. 5. So centurions are 5, and what you get with them is a very solid chassis, in my opinion. They have a fear aura, they have a cold aura, they're ethereal. Look at this defense and protection as well. So they are solid high. Now it's going to be higher right now because I going kind of giving you a treat. They are magic power. So I don't see how you would play Lemuria without magic 3, but that's going to raise that attack the defense and magic resistance. So you you can subtract 3 right now, they would be 15, 15, and 14, but still great units all around. High map movement, I didn't mention that on the Ghost, but your nation is also very quick, um, moving around in their dead wasteland. But this is the first variety, and again, I mentioned that you have this magic power, so you want magic 3, but looking at blessings, how else can we bolster this? Because it'll be easy to put on a shroud if you so want, and give them that. But moving up to the next commander, big Lemur consoles, these are your big boys. So they have much higher hit points, another 10 onto it, high attack, defense, magic resistance, but the big key point that is different from the first one is these are immortal. So these cost 25 death gems, but they're going to keep coming back. And with them also being a priest, they are also being able to buff your legions of ghosts. So looking at this, we could think of high skills. My first thought in the game is if I find astral sights, throw a pike to help repel. But these just have such high attributes across that I'm just amazed by these, and I want as many as I can get to lead my troops as well. On the priest side, you have 2 varieties. You have your Shadow Tribunes, really nothing special, paralyzing attack. They have dark power, but nothing more, very low hit points. And then you have your Lemur Senators. I haven't done a full test game, I've only done expansion testing, but I don't see a reason why to spend death gems on these outright. Looking at what they bring, yes, they have a Furor, yes, they have good hit points. They are also magic power like most of your commanders, but unless, again, I'm struggling to find a reason for them, because if you wanted to move troops, you could do the Centaur or the Shadow Tribunes. They both have high undead leadership. Yeah, I don't know what to make of this unit, and they have still strength, sure. So, but I don't really want to invest to spend thugs on this, so really going to keep thinking about these of what to use them for. But they're available. And then you have your Mage Corps. So your mages are your Lemur acolytes. We keep bringing up magic power, but they also have a magically tuned research. So not only is your magic power helping your commanders in the thick of things, but it's also helping your research piece. So bolstering in Magic 3, bolstering to a 14 is not bad. And also going back to what it takes to make them, yeah, I was losing track. Consoles are no, the acolytes. Apologize. These are 11 death gems, so you're getting costing as much as the research item in death, but you're pumping out a mage to do it as well. I don't see you ever manufacturing that. Yeah, these are just wrong unit. These are just fantastic. From testing, you can get these from as free spawn as well, but very low. It's based off Dominion, and you need a lab in the province as well. So a lot of the forums mention you can get up to 2 a year, and that's kind of the set standard for free, which is nothing to scoff at. But as mentioned, we're going to be spending a lot of gold and income into forts and temples to help your ghost and help the quality of your ghost more so, and death gems. And so the lab would be a secondary thing, but wanted to call that out as well. They're also stealthy mages, which I have loved in the past with Relay, and so it will never scoff at that either. So, solid units. The next tier of mages are your Lemur Thaumaturges. You start with one of these. This helps starting your army. Higher research and higher death paths. So to do a comparison, your base mages are 1 death. The upgraded is 2 death, 1 astral. The last mage in the Beacons of Might is your Grand Lemurs. Now these cost 50 whopping death gems. And outside of Lemuria, that is, I mean, even with Lemuria, it's going to be cringing slightly when you hear that amount, but the getting over 10 a turn help as well. But just like your big commanders, these are also immortal mages, and they come with 2 astral and I believe 3 death, and then they can get another death, astral, air, or water random. Um, there's it's just incredible to me. Look, amazing defense, life drain on attack. So these aren't going to be frail mage in the back. Oh, and also 25 hit points, 25 hit points. Also ethereal, just like the rest of the ghosts. Like this leader is just incredible to me. So that is much as troops. So getting into why I chose the blessing of what I did, I wanted to. I've gone back and forth. I feel like to support the troops, getting undead regeneration and recuperation to keep your troops as healthy as possible are key, especially the investment that they're doing. And then I went just more defensive. I thought about doing attack to help up with your commanders, but I just went with fire and shock resistance, and hence with this Titan. The reason why I chose Titan to have again focusing on that bless with death and nature, and then having somewhere to be able to use earth to help with the legions of ghosts, and to be able to get around quickly. The other thing I looked at, I thought was a boom. We'll see how it plays in the game. Is with the Springborn out immortalness and being able to auto come back. Is not investing a lot with my priest and mages to pull back your pretender, but also be able to try to start dipping into these other paths. We'll see how it goes out. I had a thought of a different one, but since this is my first game, wanting to test. The last thing I want to cover in the nation is the actual what types of units your priest can spawn in, or anyone with the reanimator piece. You can call in spirits. Just mentioned earlier, they have the paralyzed. They're not going to be holding up walls. They are going to get in the thick of things, so you can mass produce these from calling out. But the other ones are your shadows. I like these a lot more. Higher defense, ethereal, as well as stealthy. So you can bring these in. They also have paralyzed, but they will die quickly. You have these shade beasts are available as well. It's laughable with the protection, but again, stealth dogs, if you will, higher she strength. In testing with them, I haven't used them a lot, but we'll see what comes up in the game. And then lastly, the apparitions that you can summon. These are plague carriers. That is the main use I see that they are coming out. So, solid. I say solid, mediocre stats, but you can bring these to help with diseases and leprosy to help. So my thought is if I'm seeing a pretender being aggressive, trying to disease one out, that will really go a long way in future fights as well, and to be able to get that on them. So, but depending on your level of priest, depends on how much you summon. To do a quick call out, your level 1 priest can do spirits and shadows, 2 shadows, 10 priests. Your level 2 can go up with 1 apparition shade beast, a little bit more, 3 call shadows, and then jumping up to level 3 you see 14422. So that is overall the last thing to call about the nation. Is since it is a pop kill nation, your land is worthless, but you're going to be forwarding up to spawn more ghosts and to make it harder for people to knock down on. So more to come at the end once we start the game, but want to just do a quick high level, my thoughts, what my Titan or Pretender is going to be looking at, and yeah, we'll get started. So thank you.